To that, Nicole Murphy had relations with your ex-husband. Were you two friends?
Mm-hmm. Birthday parties. I've been to her house. She was at my bachelorette party. But you know what? At that time, my mother told me then. She said, but you got to watch that one there. And I was like, who? I said, the one dancing. She said, yes, that's Eddie Murphy's wife. She said, you got to watch that one.
Current wife at the time or ex at the time?
I want to say, I think she was still married. They were still married. And I was like, no, And so, when your mom tell you something about new school, you feel like you old school, And she was right.
Child, listen. This drama between Taraji and Nia Long just went from shady to straight up chaos. Now, Taraji and Nia Long have been beefing for a while, ever since the work together on Empire. And Nia has often been allegedly caught throwing some snide comments towards Taraji. But it looks like Taraji just gave Nia Long something to really cry about, because word on these internet streets is that Taraji might have a little something going on with Ime Udoka. Yeah, the same man that had Nia Long in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Now, knowing how Nia Long reacts to things, she isn't really taking the recent relationship between Taraji and Ime Udoka too well. But how did Taraji and E even get together in the first place? And is Taraji really the bad guy here? I don't know, but we finna break it down. In case you haven't been paying attention, Nia Long and Taraji have not been cool on each other ever since Nia came on Empire to play Juliana, Lucius's ex, in season 3. At first, it was incredible to see these two amazing black actresses on screen, and people were tuning in like crazy to see what their dynamic would actually look like. People thought that Nia Long was going to be more than a reoccurring character on the show and would actually join Taraji and Terrence Howard as part of the main cast of Empire. But here's where things get messy. Fans immediately clocked T that all wasn't right between the two ladies. And you know how nosy the internet can be when they spot a beef between two celebs, because people started to dig and dig until they eventually found exactly what they were looking for.
I know. Trust me, Wendy. Trust me, I wish it didn't happen.
Okay. Repeat where this happened.
Well, I think it was a moment where I should have thought more through the situation, made better judgments, So it's something that I apologize for. What happened was there was a statement that was released. I did not put out that statement. I was actually on the airplane. And I was coming back from Europe.
They were in Italy at a film festival.
Yes.
And allegedly...
But I was out there for business.
Okay.
There was some designers out there as well, so I was dealing with that. Okay. There was familiar faces out there, and it happened.
Where did this happen?
I was in Italy.
No, I mean, where did that happen right there? Because you all looked like you just woke up in the morning.
No, we did not.
Your body looks phenomenal.
First of all, I was at the pool. Okay. We're on a different time zone. I was having a hard time staying awake. I was drinking an espresso. That's it.
Okay, and you leaned in.
It was a moment that should not have happened. I regret it, and I apologize for it. And I'm a human being. It was a mistake.
Word got out accusing Nia Long of being standoffish and snobby and difficult to work with. From her hair to her makeup. Now, that may just sound like typical Hollywood actress behavior.
The thing is this, when you're a woman and you grown, let's handle it like a woman. Let's talk face to face and let's get it out. But here's the thing. I sat with her a couple of months ago, longer than a couple of months ago, about 6 months ago. And
this was after the alleged affair?
Before.
Okay.
And I said, let's talk about it, because I waited a very long time for you and I to get like this right here, face to face,
Okay.
And
no, she's talking about Nicole, not me.
Right.
Relax.
And we had a good conversation because she said to me, you know what? We're two older women that look good that's in the business. I hate this. And I do too, because I hate when we can't bridge the gap between women. We should not be in that position.
Right.
I will say this.
We open doors for brown girls to be exactly who we are. And that's beautifully complicated. And so it's been a blessing and a curse. Because here's what I do know. Nia Long knows her light. Nia Long knows her makeup. Nia Long knows her hair. And you probably can't talk me into something else unless you show me. If you want to call that difficult, then sorry. But when things started to get out, it just showed how competitive Nia Long could be with other black actresses. Around the same time, it was revealed that Nia wouldn't be returning to Empire for season 4, and word got around that for the short time that she was there, Nia tried to take Taraji's spot as the star of Empire. She came up with her own ideas on how to expand her role and all sorts of things, and if she had it her way, she would have ended up almost going toe-to-toe for Taraji's character Cookie as the main female lead of the show. But production quickly shot that down, because they could already foresee the drama that this would cause behind the scenes. And on top of that, Cookie was already an established and beloved character on the show, and the producers did not think it was worth it to ruin something that already worked so well. And when Taraji heard what game Nia Long was trying to play, baby, she didn't take that line down too much, okay? Nia and Taraji had already gotten into it over Nia's treatment of the crew, and it even got to the point where both of them had to shoot their scenes separately, since they just couldn't get along. So when she heard that Nia Long was trying to claim her spot, sources claimed that Taraji was genuinely annoyed and taken aback. But here's where things get interesting. Ever since Nia left the cast of Empire, these two haven't been seen together publicly, not even once. And they could have continued to go on without ever crossing paths with each other, if Taraji didn't allegedly start dealing with Ime Udoka, Nia Long's baby daddy. Now, Nia and Em got together in 2010, and they have one son together, and they were engaged since 2015. And they would have been together for even longer if Ime wasn't outed in 2022 for messing around with 2 staff workers, both married, while he was the coach for the Boston Celtics.
That's true, absolutely true.
So what happened exactly?
Just what you said. She messed around with my husband. Here's the thing. We've all done something that we regret. We've all made mistakes, and we all have to learn from that. But when you start doing it and being messy enough to do it amongst family, how does a family kiss turn into a I'm sorry apology? Like, what do you mean? You didn't know that she was married? We all know that she was married. And that was 20 years. That's history. You don't do that amongst friends.
Right.
Because there's no loyalty.
Right.
There's no loyalty, and you got to look up, and your person that you invited to your house and you celebrating your birthdays and going to games with, you got to look up and they're in Italy with your husband.
Right.
Nicole have reportedly been close friends for years, and they travel in the same circle.
And my thing is this, Prosh, you know you're not talking about it all the time. That's that friendship stuff.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Well, but listen, the whole internet's on fire about it. Even your sister, the brat, Lisa Ray McCoy, jumped in social media and said, "Girl, Nikki Murphy, you went after Leela Rashawn's husband too?" Shaking my head so wrong again.
Ooh, wait, hold on.
So what's the fine print of the tea? Like, did she go after Lisa Ray's husband when she was married to the...
Absolutely. When my sister was the first lady of Turks and Caicos, absolutely.
What?
And Nia was absolutely hurt, 5:33 minutes 33 seconds, that he had stepped out on her. And she was even more irritated and embarrassed that it was made so public, and her relationship had to face that public scrutiny. But here's the gag. Insiders say that Nia was actually willing to forgive him and move on quietly. But 5:49, 5 minutes 49 seconds, before she could even blink, Ime was allegedly out here moving on with Taraji P. Henson. Nia and Taraji hadn't, 5:77, 5 minutes 57 seconds, been getting along before this. But now this feels even more personal for Nia. 6:03, 6 minutes 3 seconds, like Taraji was trying to get in the way of her family. But for Taraji, she really didn't do anything wrong. Like, 6:09, 6 minutes 9 seconds, did Nia Long really expect her to have some type of loyalty towards her or something? For Taraji, as long as Nia and Ime weren't together, she really, 6:18, 6 minutes 18 seconds, wasn't doing anything wrong. And there was no reason why she should have to walk on eggshells just to avoid getting on Nia's bad side. If Nia Long didn't care about pushing Taraji to the side just to snag the main character role on Empire, 6:32, 6 minutes 32 seconds, then Taraji allegedly doesn't see anything wrong with doing what she wants to do, being with somebody who makes her happy, even if Nia Long ends up being super salty about the situation. Now, do y'all think Taraji crossed the line, or is Nia, 6:47, 6 minutes 47 seconds, just being petty? Let's talk about it in the comments. But trust me, the next video is even messier. I'll see you there. Bye, baddies.
To that, Nicole Murphy had relations with your ex-husband. Were you two friends?
Birthday parties. I've been to her house. She was at my bachelorette party. But you know what? At that time, my mother told me then. She said, but you got to watch that one there. And I was like, who? I said, the one dancing. She said, yes. That's Eddie Murphy's wife. She said, you got to watch that one.
Current wife at the time or ex at the time?
I want to say I think she was still married. They were still married. And I was like, no, And so, when your mom tell you something about new school, you feel like you old school, And she was right.
How did you find that out?
I had checked the manifest of my plane because we owned a plane. And so when you check that list, it says all the people that have rolled on the plane. And she didn't ride on it with me, and nor did she receive an invitation from me. So if you had a girlfriend that has her own island, I would think that you would call and say, hey, girl, I'm coming, because I was getting everybody to come. So why you would accept an invitation from him and you don't even know him is unbeknownst to me. I don't know how that could happen. Do you? I guess not.
I never owned a private plane or
not that part.
I don't know, but meaning, yes, this is too rich for me. The manifest of the list, like, damn. So you saw her name on the list.
And I tried to call her. And, at first she said, no, I haven't been to Turks and Caicos. I have not been. And it was like, well, wait a minute, And then I called again, and then she stopped answering the phone. So at the time she was dating, at this time,
Michael
when
Strahan?
I found out, she was dating Michael Strahan. So I called him. And I said, hey, do you know anything about this? And, we talked or whatever. And I said, well, let me send you a tape that I have of proof, And so I did.
What tape? What was on the tape?
It was a tape of her and Michael when she was dropping Michael off at the private airport in her car. And they opened the gate and they pulled up to the plane, and she gets out and he gets out, and I go, oh, I didn't know y'all knew each other. And I'm gonna leave it right there because that part is my business. The other part is someone else's business, which I've never, would speak on. But for me, that was enough. It was like, wow, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Me too.
Friends don't do that now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that I would think an enemy would do, or somebody that I just don't know. But someone that you have to watch your girl. Where I come from, south side of Chicago, that's an ass whooping. That's an ass whooping. Period.